Hi, this is James Melendez, James a Wine Guy. Today, here to talk about wine writing, wine reviewing. And for me, I think of this phrase, which is, in the heart of the matter, you have to start at the beginning, which is with the vine and the winemaker. Yes, I'm a fan of the Tudors. There's no questioning that at all. And I thought it was a really great, beginning and entree to talk about this. It's exciting, it's fun. And I think that for me, it's something that, sometimes I believe in making videos on specific, very exacting subjects, because when it's indexed, I want people to find that, and I think people are seeking out different information bits about wine, and sometimes if it's encapsulated, say, in a review of a specific wine, you're not going to find that content. So that's why I do that. For me, wine writing is a privilege, and it's something that I take extremely seriously and carefully, and I weigh it out in so many different ways, because behind these wines are people. Yes, people who actually are responsible for making these wines, who pick the grapes, who trim the vines, who go through on the packaging line, the bottling line, the assembly line for creating the wines. People who are in laboratories, who are weighing out the sugar contents, if you will. There are people who are pouring the wines in tasting rooms. There are people who are ordering at restaurants. There are consumers. Yes, there are consumers who are buying these wines. So in that heart of the matter, it's important to be judicious and careful. And I hopefully weigh everything out just as carefully as I can. And I think, to me, this, a friend of mine just recently said to me, "Did you see that article by so-and-so?" It's a well-known wine writer. And she says, the famous wine writer is like, well, the bloggers are people who can make comments about anything without any risk taking. And I thought, wow, that's pretty interesting. I don't know who she's talking about. Maybe me or my friends or other wine writers. And I thought that was really kind of a surprising thing to say, because it's something that I wouldn't say. I'd be very careful and, again, judicious to make a comment like that, because there are wine writers that I know that are just very similar to myself, who are weighing everything out. They are taking risks in such a way that they don't want to. It's not necessarily about offending people. It's about being a judicious reviewer of wine, and I think that's the heart of the matter. When you think about the wines that you're tasting, it's I don't say, oh, I want this to be exactly like this, or this, because that's not the assessment of wine. Wine is, for me, it's coming in a bottle. It's coming in a way to weigh itself on its own terms, and it's also to weigh itself out in the region that it's coming from. And I think that's really, again, another heart of the matter. So this is a very interesting comment, because the other supposition was that you can do so without giving your name or real location. Well, James Melendez, and I've said many times, I'm based in San Francisco. No surprises there. Not afraid to risk that comment, because it's a fact. And I think that when I think of myself in the wine world, I've been working as a professional in the wine world. I've also what I do is I review wine, I write about wine, I love the history of it, I love to talk about wine in public, I like to do the metrics behind what makes the wine industry work, talking about social media and the metrics behind that and the social media phenomenon. So there's so much to talk about, and one, I think, is, like myself and other fellow wine writers, I think the people that I know the best tend to be extremely judicious, just as myself, and really, to their heart of the matter, they're weighing things out just as carefully. Now, there are 120,000 labels that were sent for approval this year before the USTTB, which is a certifying body to say that this label is able to be sold in the United States. Now, when you think of that, that's a huge number, and it's only going to be much larger in the future. Now, that's an important number, because this is something that, the marketplace is crowded. But wine is one of these, there's nothing like it. I don't know if I could even compare that to books. There's no other consumer category that's as large and expansive and complex. And for me, I think, I love data. And when I think of that, I think of all the interesting factoids and combinations and complexities that exist in the wine world. And to demystify that is really part of what has been one of my missions, The wine writer Eric Asimov said, well, maybe it's time to remystify wine. And I think that's the wrong approach, because I think it's not about just remystifying. I think how I've approached wine, which is demystify it so that it's understandable, knowable, and something that is just completely comfortable to pick up a bottle and enjoy. I think the other part of the magical part is not to remystify, but to make what is magical. So the substance that comes from a grape becomes vinified and becomes something that is unto itself. It's a different creature altogether. And that's the fun and fascinating thing to do about wine, and to do so judiciously, responsibly, and with passion. So that's all I'm going to say for now. And for more wine reviews, please go to jamesthewineguy.com. Please subscribe to my videos on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Vimeo, and Google+. Salud.